Coming out of school after graduation, I knew I wanted to coach, so there I was. I was young, I was available, and I was cheap, and I became a head football coach at Ferris State when I was 28 years old. Last couple years going to the playoffs, undefeated seasons, and so the next step from Division II Ferris State was to go on and have some experience in Division I. During the time I was at Ball State was really the time that Division I football changed. TV money came into play. It became more of a win at all costs, and you better win or you're going to lose your job, and that just wasn't what I was about. There was a realization when I got back to Hillsdale, there's more to this, that you have a platform to develop young men and make better men of your players. That was the big difference between Division I and Division II, is I felt much more comfortable being a role model. I mean, in a football team, you've got 120 guys, and you try to make a personal connection to them, and there's 120 different personalities with 120 different backgrounds, and the tough part is to try to connect on a relationship basis with those guys to know how you can motivate them and create success in their lives. I started a Bible study for our guys. We met every Friday morning and we would just talk about our faith and how that related to being a young student athlete, and really was a great time for me to engage with our players and be more, I think, showing of what it's like to be able to be a man of faith. That what we were doing was important in trying to win football games. I think you try to have success in whatever you're doing in life, but there was a deeper purpose, a more profound opportunity for them to develop the work habits that were going to allow them to go on and be successful in their careers and successful with their families. They just demonstrate the light of Christ and reflect the lessons that they learned through football.
He wanted everybody to be the best students that they possibly could, to be the best man that they possibly could, and to win, yes, absolutely. But ultimately, Coach knows that he wanted these kids to be great fathers and husbands someday, and he was hoping that the lessons that he was teaching day in and day out was going to contribute to that.
You can tell the win-loss record right away, but the impact that the philosophy that I had, the reason that I coach, the purpose that I coach with, really doesn't show itself till those young men end up being fathers and husbands and have careers and are in communities and having impact. But now that I've had a career of 45 years, you get to see those results and see them as fathers and have them visit games and come back. And that's really, really rewarding and something that gives you great satisfaction.
Coach Otterbein did a lot for me to grow both personally and athletically during my time at Hillsdale. And I think more so than anything, it was just held me accountable. It held me accountable to my actions, both on the field and off the field. Really wasn't going to let me skate by. It was going to demand your best. And again, he was someone that probably saw more in me than I saw in myself at that time. And I needed someone like that, and was able to get the best out of me over my 4 or 5 years at Hillsdale. And that was really important.
One lesson of many that I learned from Coach Otter was consistency. And he had a phrase that went along well with this idea of consistency. He said, do the ordinary things at an extraordinary level.
I can actually still hear you saying that in team meetings. Something that I still think about every single day and try to emulate in my day-to-day life.
This is the beginning of a new day. I want it to be gain, not loss. Good, not evil. Coach Otterbein would recite this before every morning workout.
When I look back at just all the lessons that you taught me, not only as a player, but now especially as a coach, I just can't thank you enough.
Coach Otterbein taught me that there are no shortcuts to winning. Through stacking bricks day in and day out, doing it the right way, being accountable. And he held guys accountable, all right? You were scared if you weren't accountable.
I believe a great coach isn't defined by the victories they have on the football field, but by the men they shape off of it. The lessons he taught us, like commitment to excellence, effort and focus, and controlling the things you can control, still live with me to this day.
We're a good football team when we do the little things at an extraordinary level, right? But you got to do it every day. You can't think you're going to flick a switch and all of a sudden it's going to happen on Saturday.
but you got to do it all the time. Finish every play.
During my last season, I started not to look forward to recruiting or not to look forward to the grind that it takes 7 days a week and getting in there and studying tape. Had I tried to stick around and become the winningest head coach in Hillsdale history, it would revert back to that winning is the most important thing. And to me, that was contrary to what my heart was telling me, is, the development of our young men and working with them was the most important thing, and I didn't want it to become all about winning.
Incredibly successful, right? Coach could have been the all-time winningest football coach at Hillsdale College. But I think ultimately, when Coach started to look at his time here and what he's left behind, he left a legacy of caring about young people, building young men, challenging young men to be the best version of themselves. As successful as Coach was, I think the coach was a builder of men.